But first, and I don't think this is going to make me the most popular person on TV this morning, as if I give a monkeys, but I'd like to know if any of you are finding it hard to sympathise with these British expats trapped in Libya. True, things are pretty hairy out there. They reckon as many as 700 Libyans have been slaughtered as mad dog Gaddafi ordered troops and then mercenaries to fire on his own people. Around 500 of the 3,500 Brits who are living the expat lifestyle are still trapped there, both in Tripoli and out in desert oil bases. And attempts to bring them home yesterday, well, they were farcical, really, as a Foreign Office charter flight broke down on the runway at Gatwick while a Royal Navy warship sent to rescue them is waiting until it's safe to dock. But somehow Portugal, Turkey, France and Bulgaria managed to get all their people home safe. But that's not really what we're talking about. What started to hack me off yesterday was hearing all our trapped expats bleating on about this government not doing enough to save their skins.
We're living a nightmare, and we've asked the British government to go here for days now, and they're just totally ignoring us.
Right.
They don't reply to emails. They've cut off the phones to Tripoli. When we phoned them and told them the situation 3 days ago, they never even got back to us. And basically, we've been left without any protection whatsoever.
Now, no one forced them to go to Libya to live and work under a murderous dictator and close personal chum of Tony Blair. But it must be nice not paying a penny in tax here in the UK. Here at the Right Stuff team, we know people who have worked in Libya. They moved on about a year ago, and they tell wondrous tales of a life in the expat bubble. But now things have turned nasty, they suddenly want our government's help, even though many will have pocketed danger money on top of their tax-free salaries. And just so I'm clear, I've loads of sympathy for charity workers and other do-gooders who might be trapped out there, just next to none for those who are rinsing it in the good times but don't like it now it's a bit hairy. So, Johnny.
Oh, well, I mean, Matthew, I think I'm glad you made the distinction between who to bring back. But,
OK.
And I think, unfortunately, it's impossible to draw a line, and I think they're British citizens, and we've got to bring them home. And I sympathise with your frustration, but, you know, I think... And, you know, if it's a tax issue, you know, they have paid their taxes, they've lived here, but at the end of the day, it's a bad situation going over there, and, I mean, I think we've got a duty to bring them home.
I think we have a duty to bring them home, as we had a duty to bring the Chandlers home, who were kidnapped by Somali pirates. But still, we happily left them at gunpoint, living in gunpoint, losing weight for a year before we managed to negotiate bringing them home. Now, I would have said having a gun to your head was slightly more dangerous than being trapped in a compound.
Well, I mean,
the Chandlers didn't sail deliberately into the path of Somali pirates. These people went to happily worked under Gaddafi, who's a murderous swine.
Well, I mean, you know, perhaps they were watching not so long ago views of their Prime Minister and thinking, well, if it's all right for Tony, surely it's all right for me. I mean...
Yes, I did worry that someone might throw that argument out.
Yeah, I mean, they're all part of the big business, aren't they? Even the oil workers who have been pocketing it, and living in this expat bubble, they're still part of what we consider... They're still part of what we consider important big business. Otherwise, David Cameron wouldn't be out there trying to do business with all these people at the moment. I mean, not in Libya at the moment yet. So I still think that, yes, they are Brits and we need to bring them home. And I'm really disappointed that we haven't done it in a much more macho way. I mean, you know, we should have had Ark Royal hovering off the coast and we should be going in there and showing... Because this is about British... This is about the British
it's about Libyans
image.
sorting out their own business for once without an allied armed force going in and stirring things up and doing such a wonderful job as we did in Iraq.
I'm not saying we should stir things up. I'm saying we should go in and get them out because
I think
we are British.
We should make Tony Blair serve the drinks on the plane.
Like it. Jimmy?
Me, you know,
I'm with you, Matthew.
I'm an actor. I've just paid a big, heavy tax bill, man. Leave them there. No, I'm only joking. I'm not with you. No, I think, we need to get them,
I'm not saying leave them out there forever. I'm just saying that in terms of great priorities or urgent priorities for our country and our government, rescuing a bunch of people who willfully chose to live under a despot and were rinsing it for years, right, aren't at the top of the list of people I think we should be helping.
Well, I think...
I'd rather we were helping pulling bodies out of New Zealand.
But we are.
Yeah, we are, but we put... I just...
Yeah, but what about
if you had friends or family out there, come on, would you still be saying the same thing?
I wouldn't have friends and family out there because they wouldn't be my friends.
No, you're talking about oil workers or people who are living in this bubble. But what about the charity workers and the people who are out there teaching in the streets?
I think you'll find that most of the charity workers will be resolutely determined to stay. Some of the teachers maybe likewise. You know, if a teacher wants to come home, that would be at the top of my list. I just have to sort of...
You can't send a plane out there saying we're only going to take nice people.
Oh, I could.
You should take your own plane out there.
Yeah. Just getting a plane there would be an achievement for this country.
Yeah.
I know, that is bad.
OK, well, let's unleash the gates of hell, the dogs of hell, rather, and find out what you have to say.
OK, we'll take Steve first on line 1.
Who's your special friend, Kirsty?
This is Rory.
Hello there. Good morning. Nice to see you.
Oh, he's so cute.
Excellent. A bit young for you, I'd have said, Kirsty. There we go. Steve, good morning. Morning, Steve.
Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning. What would you like to say?
Well, I spent 5 years working in Nigeria, based in Port Harcourt, the Delta regions.
Oh, well, that's
where
lots
they're
of
now
problems.
sabotaging the pipelines and everything.
That's right, and hostage-taking.
But the thing is, if you take the job, you know what's happening around you. So what you do is you take the job, and I've got no sympathy for them. All right, you're earning the money and everything, but in Port Harcourt, we used to walk round. I went to spinning chains in our pocket, 2 foot of it, in case you got attacked. Spinning chains, inch and a half lengths of steel. So you got 2 foot of that in your pocket, just in case you got attacked.
Yeah, not much use against helicopter gunships, of course, which is Colonel Gaddafi's, one of his favoured methods of attacking.
No, but the thing is, if you go and take the job, you know what's happening around you. So I've got no sympathy. It's like joining the army. Why join the army if you know you're going to get shot at?
Well,
you go to a foreign country, you're working, you've got to work under their conditions, and you've got to abide by their rules.
So you don't think the government should be in any rush to bring them home?
It's your decision to go and work over there.
That's kind of how I feel. I mean, that is how I feel.
So why should you expect any sympathy from the government when, all right, we were all chasing the money in the 80s, and that was it.
All right, Steve, I'm grateful that I'm not hanging out here entirely on my own. There's you and me against the world, and you have no idea how, well, great that makes me feel, Steve. Thank you. Let's have another, please.
OK, we'll take Paula next on line 3.
Paula. Paula, good morning.
Good morning. I don't think it's you and the other chap against the world, Matthew, but I've got a couple of brothers who work in the oil business, and one of my brothers works for BP, and he's worked all over the world. And what happened, when Tony Blair made the agreement with Gaddafi, it gave the opportunity for BP to open up the whole of Libya. And so they brought in their workers, like one of my brothers, pipeline engineers, they brought them back from wherever they were stationed and put them in Libya. And don't forget, when they went to work for Libya, they went to work for BP. And Libya, at that time, was an ally of England. They weren't working under a harsh regime. Yeah. They weren't working in an upset place like Nigeria. They were working as pipeline engineers.
For a friend of Tony Blair's. Yeah.
You know, and they went there because he lost his job here and my other brother lost their jobs here. And they got the opportunity to work, one for Aramco and one for BP.
To be fair, though, Paula, BP has brought its people home, so I'm thinking perhaps of other people that willfully went over there to rinse it, to enjoy the good times.
Well, from what I heard, I don't know where they found the good life, you know, because apparently it was horrific.
Okay.
You're right to criticise them. I think that's a non-argument. I mean, maybe in terms of expats, it's an arguable, it's an interesting, that's a polite word, lifestyle, and you can criticise the politicians, you can criticise the oil industry, but at the end of the day, they're British citizens and they're in danger, and we've got a duty to bring them home.
Let's say Adolf Hitler was alive and well and running a North African state in which you were aware that he was brutally murdering Jews willy-nilly, OK, and you lose your job in this country and someone says, well, you can go and work for Adolf Hitler.
Well, I mean, if you want to draw a parallel argument to the nth degree, you could say that maybe we should all leave Britain because Tony Blair's responsible for the murder of hundreds of thousands and millions of people himself.
You see, I do sometimes feel like that.
Should we go together, Matthew?
Yeah, but I don't know where to.
Where would you go?
Where to? You know, I'd like to say Canada, but they're just ruthlessly obsessed with killing beaver, and I just can't. I don't know where to go. Paula, point taken. Thank you. Let's have another.
OK, we take Alan next on line 5.
Alan, good morning.
Morning, Matthew.
Go on. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you. I've worked extensively in the oil and gas industry, and these people have taken the money. They're earning sort of £400 or £500 a day, tax-free. So why should we bring them back? All they have to do is keep their heads down. At the end of the day, all the trouble seems to be isolated to the towns and the cities, and it's Libyan people rising up against the armed forces.
Well, to be fair, I'm aware of a German camp that was overrun, and the Germans fled, and they're now in with a UK camp, and we know there's looting going on. There's mercenaries that Gaddafi has brought in, so nobody knows whose side they're on. Is it fair to say that just because they're out in the desert in a camp, they're going to be OK? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm grateful that you also have a lack of sympathy, though, Alan.
Yeah, well, I mean, I worked out in Baku.
OK, another one, right.
And, there was people up in the mountains sort of running around with Kalashnikovs. You just keep out of their way. You stay in the safe areas. And, if you're out and about, you make sure you don't provoke anybody. OK,
I just wonder if there is such a thing as a safe area when you have, whether you want to call it a revolution or a civil war going on.
I don't have any sympathy. I think you just keep your head down. And you obviously, if you can get out, then you make your way to an airport. Sure. But we shouldn't be laying on special flights. We certainly shouldn't be sending in military might to try.
See, Alan's right.
The SAS are apparently in there.
Yeah, but I mean, that's SAS units, 5 people, not 6 people.
Yeah, but they might be very effective.
Yeah, I'm sure they are very effective.
You see, I just believe in this sort of patriotic ideal. It would be nice to be a country
patriotic about
that go in there and get our guys out.
What's patriotic about fleeing the country and not paying any tax?
Judge them later.
Nothing
If you want to judge them,
running
judge
away,
them later.
rats from a sinking ship. Not that this country is quite sinking. Thank you, Alan. Let's have another.
OK, we have Toby on line 4.
Toby, good morning.
Good morning, Matthew.
Go on, then. What would you like to say,
Well,
Toby?
I feel no matter what country we're in, if we hold a British passport, we're entitled to be looked after or taken out of a situation or a crisis. I admire the other countries for what they've done for the people, because they've actually got their people out.
But Toby,
the British embassy is completely empty. Now, I'm just suggesting that any members of our people, like in power or royalty, were in that situation, we'd have battleships all around Libya getting them out, whether they pay taxes or not. I think if you hold a British passport, you are entitled to be British and be proud of it.
Except I feel that if you willfully put yourself in a situation which could be troubled, going to work in a country run by a murderous dictator, you have to accept that you are willfully endangering your life.
That murdering situation is because the British people are hoping this would come to an end. They're hoping Gaddafi could get out so that the Western world, the Americans or the British, can put in somebody that can control the oil situation.
I have a slightly different view. I think they went there because they think they'll make a fast buck. That's what I think.
Yeah, but we're the ones who consume the oil.
Yes.
They're all there hiking up the oil industry. We're the ones still consuming the oil.
Only because our governments, for successive generations, have refused to invest in alternative technology.
For all sorts of nefarious reasons, but we are nevertheless doing it, and those guys are out there. They're part of the whole machine.
OK. Enough for now. But, yeah, thank you for not hanging me and quartering me. I appreciate it. And I do, at the end of the day, you don't want anybody, British citizen, Libyan citizen or Bulgarian, to suffer. Let's hope it just all gets sorted quickly and Gaddafi disappears. After the ads...